we are going to discuss about the pivot table. So the pivot table is one of the very important and analyzing concept. Let us see how to do it. First of all, we have to know what is the pivot table. So all of you may know about sorting techniques and filtering techniques. The sorting option, sort option. This is used to just rearrange our data. So in the form of A to Z, or in case of the numbers of 1 to 9, like that, we can adjust the data, means rearrange the data in the sort option. But in the filter option, what we can do means we can control the data based on some criteria. Like if you want to show the top five names, or top five marks, top five scorers, or the names begins with one particular letter. So like that, we can summarize, or we can show only the data based on some criteria, right? So that we can do in the filters option. So here sometimes we need to apply their multi calculations, like that sorting and filtering both. We can summarize, and sometimes we have to generate the report based on data what we have. Okay, not only just showing one particular information, that we can summarize that entire information what we have or what we collected, and based on that we need to make some reports, right? Suppose I have some data here. So date, region, product, salesperson, sold units, unit price, and total sales. Okay, sales person, units, unit price, and total sales. Of course, we may know about that. So the unit price and unit sold, these are the products. Means the product of this unit sold and unit price becomes that total sales. Just once you observe here, total sold units into unit price. So if you multiply these two, you can get their some values, that what we can get, that total sales we can get. Yeah. So this is the calculation procedure. So how to make the information? So how to we get that information? By implementing these calculations, right? So total units sold and total price. So by multiplying these two values, we can get the total sales. In that same sense, this is already calculated. Yeah. So suppose here we have to identify the report, means the salesperson wise total sales, and who is the top salesperson, and who sold maximum units, and which product is popular in these entire products, and which reason brings us a more amount than other. So like that, if you want to analyze that each and every column, then we need not only depends upon the filter, or not only depends upon the sort option. So here we may need the help of pivot table. Pivot table means just presenting our information in a matrix view, means rows and columns format. If you present the data like that, that's simply called as what? Pivot table, right? So that's a pivot table, and MS Excel, the latest versions, they can support pivot table and also pivot chart. So two options we have, right? So let us see how to do that pivot table first of all. So don't bother about this data. So you may have that less data, or you may have the huge data. So you can apply this technique on your data, right? So that's a fundamental thing. Just you have to concentrate on how to enable or how to use this pivot table on our data. That's you have to remember, and that's you have to observe actually, right? So first thing, we have to select that entire data what we have. That may be less data, or a huge amount of data, that may be any number of rows, or any number of columns. That's not change our result, right? So the number of columns and number of rows does not make our pivot table easy or hard. So there is no dependent upon that huge amount of the data, right? So that's first we have to select that entire data, Now just click on the insert menu. Here we have that insert, right? So insert menu, you can find here pivot table. So pivot table from the table range and from the external data source. Two options we have, that either table range or external data source. So from any one of these, you can use the table form, and in this latest version, right, in the latest version, you have these recommended pivot tables also. So by click on these recommended pivot tables, your entire data is automatically selected, and the model is automatically developed by the Microsoft Excel. So just you have to choose which model you want, right? Which model you want, how your data to be. That's mean this first one is about that sum of units sold, means unit based that's mean unit based calculation is here, and here unit price based calculation. In this list, so we have to select what we need actually. So just you have to click on one thing. This is date-wise analysis. If you don't want it, suppose if you want the sales-wise analysis, just select that salesperson-wise sales, right? So then click on OK and see the magic, right? This is the pivot table, and our report is ready. So here you can find the pivot table fields. So among these all fields, we are using the salesperson and total sales. Only these two columns we are using to display our in our pivot table. And you may also observe here the column title is empty, and as the rows we are using the salesperson names, and as the values we are using the sum of total sales. So this is the sum of total sales. Or else if you want anything, you can also add that unit sold, how many units sold, yes, you can add. But the unit sold count, yes, we can find that count. Arun has sold 13 units, Ramesh has sold 10 units, Sita sold 9 units. So like that we can expand our pivot table by adding the more columns, right? So, and if you want to show the region also, or a product name, so you can also add that product in columns. So see, this is the product, smartphones. So this is about the smartphone information, right? And it's not fit in this row, and just suppose I'm using the column headings and total sales in value. Yes, yeah. So uh, laptops, smartphones, tablets, and the grand total. So here that entire information is automatically calculated, right? So like that we can make a report from our collected data in a simple method by implementing the pivot table. Just we have to specify what we want to present in columns and what we want present in rows and what we want to show as a values. That's it. So our pivot table is ready. So don't bother about the number of rows or the length of the data you have. Okay, so it is automatically created by the system by implementing this insert and pivot table option. This is about the pivot table, and we will discuss one more new topic in our later section. And don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, and also write your opinion as a comment for this video. Thanks for watching.